Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is my first day filming on my new camera. So I do have this somewhat clunky visual edition in the form of this microphone. I'll need to practice with it a few times, try to figure out where I can put it so that it still picks me up, but ideally won't be in shot in the future. But for today, just so I can get on with filming, I've just stuck it onto my top. So I do apologise if it's a slight visual distraction. That aside, today's video is the next update to my project pan. If you watched the last update, I said there was a few products I thought might be leaving in this update, which I am very pleased to say there is, so it's quite an exciting one. So without any further ado, let's get on into it. The first item to update you on is my primer. So this has been cut open, so this will definitely be done by the next update. There was a fair amount, to be honest, when I cut it open. I cut it open last week, so there was still a fair amount at that point, and there's still some left. It's not finished yet, but it definitely will be done by the next update, which is very exciting. But for this update, I have used 3 grams of this since it was last weighed and brought it down to 13 grams. So very pleased with that, very excited that it's cut open and expecting this to be leaving the project at the next update. So couldn't ask for more, really. The second product to update you on is my blush. At the last update, I had used this 46 times. My goal is to use it 100 times, so that was us just about at the halfway mark. Between the last update and this one, I have used it 18 times, which brings my total uses to 64. Out of the 100, I've got 36 uses left to hit the goal. Visually, this is where the blush is. So I did have a bit more product along here at the last update, which I've managed to clean off, but I'm going to be honest, I feel like there is still a lot of product there, given that I am essentially now 2/3 of the way through the goal usage-wise. The goal theoretically was 100 uses, or until the blush was finished, whichever one came first. But I was really always hoping that the blush being finished was going to come first. There's about 1/3 of that blush left. On a side note, the screen for this camera is below the camera, so if I am looking down instead of at the camera, bear with me, I will get used to looking up there. It's just distracting that the screen to check what's in the frame is down there. So do bear with me whilst I get used to this new camera, but hopefully it's going to be an upgrade overall, so just be a little bit of a learning curve first. But anyway, back to the blush. There is about 1/3 left, and I'm just not quite sure that another 36 uses is going to get me to having this finished. We shall see. I'll definitely stick with it through to the 100 uses. I do feel like I want to get some more use out of some of my other blushes, so I don't know if those 100 uses isn't enough to finish it. I don't know if I'm going to stick with it past that, or if I'll just revisit it in a future project at some point. But yeah, I am less and less convinced that this is going to be finished within the project, but I am sure I will hit the 100 uses. Like, whichever goal it was going to be, I was hoping it was going to be finished, but I think it's going to be the 100. The next product is my highlight, and the uses are kind of similar to the blush usually because I'm using both at the same time. At the last update, I'd used this 45 times. I've used it 18 times since that last update, bringing my total uses on this to 63. Now, the same as the blush, my goal is to use this 100 times. It is this one here, and it's definitely looking, I feel like the camera never picks this up, but it's definitely looking fairly used in real life. However, given I have now got 37 uses to go until I hit the goal of 100 on this, I'm also not sure that I'm going to hit pan in 100 uses, so I have been concentrating my use on this edge so that I was theoretically always going to the same bit, and I was hoping that 100 uses would get me a pan by doing it that way. It still might. I'm trying not to be particularly negative, but again, we're now about 2/3 of the way through those uses, and the pan seems a long way off still, so I'm not sure, but we'll stick with it and we'll see where we end up by the end of the project. So fingers crossed. I would like the pan, hopefully. Next up, let's talk about my Charlotte Tilbury lip gloss. I have brought this down a fair amount. I said at the last update what I needed to do with this was take it into work, get it on my desk at work and just start topping up through the day with it. That is what I've been doing for the last week and a half or so, and I feel like even in that week and a half, like so much of that usage for this update has come from that. If I stick with that plan going forward, I'm hoping that we should get some good further reductions. I was saying earlier that I didn't think I was going to finish this within the project, which had been the goal, but I don't know, I feel quite empowered now by like seeing how much just using it for a week and a half on my desk at work did bring it down, so we'll see. I'm going to take it back into work on Monday, stick with it for a month and see what next month's update looks like. Maybe I could actually still finish it within the project. That would be a very nice bonus, but yeah, a nice little reduction for this update, which I'm very happy with. I have one hair product in the project and it's this Herbe moisturising cream. This is something that I am weighing, and at the last update this was 35 grams and I have reduced this by 5 grams, so for this update it's weighing in at 30 exactly. Now that weight obviously includes the packaging, and I would say this is getting quite difficult to squeeze out, so I think the cutting open stage of this is maybe not by the next update but possibly the update after, so I do think I'm closing in on the end of this, which I am very, very happy about. I don't love this product. I don't hate it enough to declutter it. I do want to finish it up. I certainly wouldn't be repurchasing it, and I will be very, very glad to see the back of it when the time comes, but I feel like that time is coming. I feel like we're getting closer to it, which is such a good feeling. A product that I have got to the end of is my Origins Original Skin Mask. This has been cut open and finished. Very, very excited about that. So this was quite a nice clay mask. It wasn't a very drying one, which is something I always value in a clay mask. I don't like my skin to feel too stripped after it, but I feel like it did lift out the sort of excess, and it had a bit of a sort of manual exfoliation to it as well. So I did really like this mask. I think I've got a mini of this still to use. I won't be rushing to repurchase it. I've got a lot of face masks, so apart from anything else, I do need to use up more of them before I would be repurchasing anything. But even still, I don't think this is one I would be rushing out for. But if I got it again, I would very happily use it up again. Very pleased to have finished this up and have it for my empties for Q3, especially after my Q2 empties were quite abysmal. So we're hoping for Q3 to be a little bit more meaty. So here is another product for them, which is very exciting. The other facial skincare product that I've got in the project is this eye cream. It's from La Roche-Posay. This is a retinol eye cream, so I don't use this every night or anything like that, but I have brought it down another sort of standard amount. I'm quite happy with that. If it comes down that amount as it has done between the last update and this update every month for the rest of the project, I will be happy with that. I don't think I'm going to finish it within the project. I will probably step it up in winter a little bit. I've said this in almost every update, but because this is a retinol, it leaves your skin more vulnerable to sun damage, which does always slightly concern me, particularly in the summer months. But that becomes slightly less of a concern when we go into winter and we get about 4 hours of sun a day, and it's usually during the working day when I'm in the office. So hopefully it'll maybe pick up a little bit as we're leaving the brighter months behind. But yeah, if I use it steadily for the rest of the project, even if I don't finish it, I'll be quite happy. On to body products, and the other product that is leaving the project today, which I'm very excited about, is my Sculpted by Amy body lotion. This was cut open at the last update, but it wasn't finished at that point. It now is finished, it is emptied out. I really loved this body lotion, but the packaging was just so difficult to squeeze out. I wouldn't buy it again just because the packaging was so difficult to work with. It was so hard. It really hurt my hand trying to squeeze it out. Even cutting it open was really, really difficult, like trying to get the scissors to go through it. It was an absolute effort. So yeah, I feel like the packaging in this is just not the one, and I'm kind of surprised that other people haven't flagged that up and that the brand hasn't addressed that yet, because it definitely, I had this and I'd also bought it for my gran. She has arthritis in her hands. She actually just could not use it at all. And I feel like as a brand sculpted by me, generally get things really spot on. I really like it as a brand. I feel like me as like a younger consumer and my gran as an older consumer both finding this difficult to use. It can't just be us, you know, surely it's a wider issue. So I'm sort of consistently expecting this to be repackaged. It hasn't happened yet. If it was repackaged, I would absolutely repurchase it. The smell is lovely. It sinks in really well. I really, really like the product. The packaging is just not the one. The other body product that's in the project is my L'Occitane hand cream. Again, I have taken this into work over that last week and a half or so, and that has definitely made me get more use out of it than I was getting out of it. So the update is it's not jumping hugely in this update in comparison to the last two updates, but again, I think if I take this back into work from Monday, and I've got a sort of full month of it being on my desk, I think at the next update we'll see a big, big jump. And the last product to update you on is my Shalyar Perfume. So as you can see when I'm holding this up, there is really not a lot left. So I have been measuring this on its side. This now has come down. There's just so little left. This is definitely going to be finished easily within the project. At the moment, my 5x Fall project pan is still running, and I do have a perfume product in that I want to try and finish within that project. So I feel like over the next month or so, that's the one I'm going to be prioritising, which may slow me down a little bit on this. But once that one's out, I'll definitely get this knocked out. So I'm thinking like not the next update, but probably the update after, or maybe at a push 3 updates from now, this will be finished. So those are all the updates for today. So 2 products leaving the project, which I'm very, very excited about. My primer has been cut open, so I think that'll be leaving us at the next update. I feel like things are going in the right direction overall. The only thing I'm slightly deflated over is the blush. That's the only thing that's maybe not going quite as well as I would like it to be going, but it is what it is. Overall, I know I've made so much more progress on all of these products than I would have done had they not been in this project this year, so I'm really happy that I put them all in, and I'm happy overall with the progress that I'm making. So thank you so much for watching this update. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!